Chapter 41. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hyuga Niji had no idea how the past few days had passed. Naruto's words kept lingering in his mind. Destiny is never predetermined. We must believe that man can conquer nature, and my destiny is in my own hands, not in the hands of God. Niji touched his forehead, and when he thought about what Naruto said, he felt that there seemed to be some mystery about the boy, and there was a temperament on him that made him a little convinced. Niji has been absent-minded these days, and his state was naturally discovered by the teacher in class. But Niji has always been the top student. His grades are also quite good, so he turned a blind eye. Naruto once again sent out his shadow clones to Shursue's location, and even slightly changed them to increase their endurance. Shadow clones can replenish each other through chakra, which means that Naruto's other shadow clones can replenish chakra for other shadow clones to achieve the purpose of endurance. Naruto successfully met Shursui in the land of waves. Naruto. We seem to have been discovered, and there are ninjas investigating us recently, Shursui reported softly. Do you know where this ninja came from? If I'm not mistaken, they should be from the Hidden Mist village, and some of them are from the rebellious ninjas. I have quietly dealt with the rebellious ninja, but I did not take action against the Kirigakure ninja to prevent our existence from being exposed in advance. Naruto nodded and said, You did a good job on this matter. We really cannot be exposed to them now. But they don't know much. At most they know that there is a complicated organization behind the Seven Colors Chamber of Commerce, Shursui said slowly. How is the expansion of our industry going? Naruto asked again. With the Fire Nation as the core, our industry has spread to the 5 major countries. We have bases in the 5 major ninja villages. The reason why it was so fast was that Shursui, under Naruto's signal, recruited many ordinary people to join the umbrella organization. Ordinary people can sometimes play an extraordinary role, which is also to prevent attracting the attention of ninjas. After all, Naruto's purpose now is just to make money. By the way, has the machine been manufactured yet? Naruto suddenly remembered something and asked. Are you talking about the tilling machine? It has already started trial use, and the effect is very good, comparable to a genin who uses earth escape, and can well liberate productivity. Shursui showed a happy smile. The emergence of the tilling machine allows a farmer to easily plow several acres of land. After they developed the tilling machine, combined with the high-yield crops they developed, they no longer lack food and grass. Naruto and Shursui talked about the planning of Umbrella as they walked. Naruto is now using the image after the transformation technique. After all, his real appearance is really not easy to walk in the ninja world, although not many people may recognize him. Naruto walked on the land of waves, which was completely different from what he had in his mind. The people walking on the street had happy smiles on their faces, and they would greet Shursui politely when they saw him, and Shursui also responded with a smile. Shursui and Naruto smiled at each other and said in unison, One day, we will spread the glory of Umbrella to the entire ninja world. Naruto stopped talking and thought about what Shursui had said before. The Hidden Mist village had targeted them, probably because of the previous large-scale fishing of seafood, which had attracted attention in this regard. After all, the Land of Water is a country surrounded by seawater, with rich marine resources, and it is not surprising that it mainly exports marine resources. It is reasonable to be targeted. Still too weak. Now in their umbrella organization, there is an estimated Kaga-level strongman and 3 elite jonin, namely Zabuza Momochi and Uchiha, the instructor of the Uchiha family. It is worth mentioning that it was Uchiha Izumi who Naruto kidnapped, rescued. Uchiha Izumi is worthy of being able to easily open the 3 Magatama. After learning the news of the Uchiha clan's extermination, she actually opened the Mangekyo Sharingan on the spot. And her ability made Naruto was pleasantly surprised. The Uchiha's Sharingan is the eye of soul reflection, and almost everyone has different abilities to open the Mangekyo. For example, Uchiha Obito witnessed Rin's death, so he felt that this was a false world, and wanted to escape from this world, and then he created the powerful space eye technique Kamui. And Shursui wanted to urgently change the situation between Konoha and Uchiha, so he created the strongest illusion, Koto Amatsukami. The same is true for Uchiha Izumi. Her Mangekyo ability is because she couldn't believe that it was Uchiha Itachi who wiped out the Uchiha clan, so she created a super ability, which is to erase all attacks or negative influences from others. It doesn't sound good, but in fact, this ability is very useful. Because he can erase illusions, ninjutsu, and even the tailed beast balls of the tailed beasts. It can even erase a mountain. The more difficult something is to erase, the more chakra is needed. Theoretically, even Susanoo can be erased, but the consumption is very large. However, it cannot erase living things, otherwise it would be against the will of heaven. This is the ability of Uchiha Izumi's left eye, called Illusion of Nothingness. The ability of the right eye is to increase all attributes. Her idea at the time was that if she was strong enough, had enough chakra, and had strong ninjutsu, then she could beat Uchiha Itachi herself. Therefore, such an ability was derived, which could increase all attributes by 1 to 5 times. It requires the consumption of pupil power and chakra. This ability also made Naruto marvel. A good girl is developing into a warrior. With this ability, Naruto is also envious. All attributes are increased. If she is at the level of Kage. If it increases 5 times, it may reach the ceiling of Kage level. If it is used at the peak of Kage level, it may reach the level of Super Kage. In short, this ability is more abnormal as it gets stronger. Uchiha Izumi's previous strength was around the elite Chunin level. After awakening the Mangekyo, his chakra skyrocketed, and his strength also reached the Quasi-Kage level. The reason why it is said to be at this level is mainly because Uchiha Izumi's previous combat experience was really rubbish. He didn't know many ninjutsu and only 2 or 3 illusions. He was able to reach the elite Chunin before because of the blessing of 3 Magatama. In the Uchiha family, those who can reach 3 Magatama are generally at the Jonin level. It is mainly because Uchiha Izumi is a member of the Uchiha marginal family. Even the people of the Uchiha family don't know that Uchiha Izumi has quietly opened the Sharingan to 3 Magatama. However, after being baptized by Naruto's ninjutsu library, his strength is also improving rapidly, and it is estimated that he will soon be able to enter the Kage level. If Uchiha Izumi completes the basics and achieves the level of Kage, then the umbrella organization will have 2 Kage level powerhouses and 2 elite Jonin. Add an Ice Shield Bloodline Genkai, and Naruto, Sasuke, Neji and Rock Lee in the future will not be weak in strength. Chapter 42. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Shursui, speed up the process. I heard that there is a ninja village in the snow country. I think you can control the entire ninja village. The people in that country should have a good technology, Naruto said to Shursui. What Naruto said was the chakra armor used by the snow ninja in the original work, and the snow country is also a country suitable as a base camp. The industry there is well developed. In terms of speeding up the snowy weather, it is remote and difficult to attract the attention of other countries. Snow country. I heard there is such a place, and the ninja villages there seem to be established by the country. Shursui thought for a while and frowned. It seems that there really is such a country and ninja villages, but compared to Konoha, they are just small ninja villages. Is there what Naruto-kun needs there? Shursui, don't underestimate them. Although it's a small ninja village, the chakra armor technology is what we need. It's not perfect yet, but it's good as a base camp. After all, the land of waves is still too small, Naruto said with a shining look in his eyes. It is difficult to build defense facilities in the land of waves, but the land of snow is easy to defend and difficult to attack, with heavy snow all year round. Although it is a little remote, it is very suitable as a base camp. Shursui nodded and said, I'll pay attention to it. Shursui was also constantly thinking about what Naruto said. Since it was Naruto who said it, then this land of snow must be good for us, although I don't know how Naruto knew it. For so long, he has regarded Naruto's words as an imperial decree. Naruto's identity has many secrets, which he has already known. What's more, everyone has some secrets, right? We should not give up on other small countries either. We should spend some time to control them and replace those daimyo with our people. Naruto has no good feelings towards the daimyo of this world. He doesn't know why the people in this world are particularly respectful to these nobles. Sometimes even the appointment of a village's shadow requires the consent of the daimyo. Except for the 5 major countries, other small ninja villages are not allowed to have the title of shadow, and the star shadow that appeared in the original work is overestimating his own strength. It is ridiculous to rely on one star to rival the 5 major countries. Shisui was shocked by Naruto's words. This is a daimyo. Although he is only the daimyo of a small country, although he has been washed by Naruto's thoughts before, it has not been implemented now because it is a shock to the aristocratic system for thousands of years. This makes it difficult for Shisui to accept. After all, the previous Uchiha was also an aristocratic class and was deeply influenced by the aristocratic class. That's the daimyo. Isn't it a bit early? Shisui said. Naruto thought for a moment and said, that's right. Replacing the daimyo hastily may attract the attention of people around him, so let's use illusion to control him. Shisui. Is this what I'm talking about? Naruto chuckled. Of course he knew what Shisui was thinking. Shisui, you have to know that sometimes the nobles are the culprits that cause the common people's lives to fall into despair. The world is so chaotic, and those in power have a lot to do with it. Some nobles collect taxes indiscriminately, occupy the land of civilians, and annex a large amount of land, causing the people to be displaced. Although the war in the ninja world is huge, it only covers the people in some areas. The lives of civilians in other places are not good. What we need to do is to spread the glory of the umbrella to the entire ninja world. You also hope that the people in other places can be as happy as the land of waves. There is a long way to go, Naruto said meaningfully, and Shisui looked at Naruto thoughtfully, with the light in his eyes shining brighter. Konoha village, Hyuga Niji has been struggling these days. Naruto's words keep echoing in his mind, and every time they bring shock. Uzumaki Naruto, who looks about the same age as him, not only has strength far beyond ordinary people, but also has a more mature identity than his peers, and his identity also has an inexplicable temperament. There is no doubt that Naruto is not simple, coupled with his identity as the son of the 4th generation of Hokage. However, what Niji can't understand is why the top leaders don't announce Naruto's identity, but the legend of Naruto's demon fox is still circulating in the village. Although he doesn't pay much attention to this, Niji also knows the identity of Naruto's demon fox kid. Moreover, Naruto seems to have a lot of opinions about the village, and even knows that his father's death is related to the top leaders of Konoha. Does Naruto want to be a rebel ninja? Thinking of this, Niji's heart trembled instantly. Niji knew that when he learned about Naruto's identity, it meant that there was a gap between Naruto and Konoha. The identity of the son of a hero was actually called a demon fox that everyone wanted to beat. Niji touched the mark of the bird in the cage on his forehead. This is his shame and the cage that binds him. It is also a symbol of his resistance to fate. Uzumaki Naruto, can it really help me? Can fate really be controlled by myself? Ningxi seemed a little confused. After a moment, Ningxi strengthened his belief and murmured, I don't want to succumb to fate. Hyuga Niji slowly walked out of the room and began to walk towards the place where Naruto, Lee, and Sasuke were training. Niji asked for leave today because this was the 3rd day as Naruto said. When Niji arrived at the training ground, Naruto and the other 2 were already there. Naruto and Sasuke used their shadow clones to skip classes, and Lee still used the name of Might Guy to skip classes. As soon as Niji approached, Naruto had already discovered Niji, but they did not stop. Sasuke quickly used fire escape to attack Lee, and Lee used physical skills to quickly dodge Lee's attack. Sasuke made a seal again. He knew that if he let Lee get close, he would probably be the one to fail. Lightning Release, Earth Walk. This is the lightning release ninjutsu that Sasuke learned from Naruto. The lightning release turned into an electric net and instantly paralyzed Lee. Sasuke squinted his eyes, revealing 2 pairs of red eyes, one with a 1 Magatama Sharingan and the other with a 2 Magatama Sharingan. He quickly formed seals with his hands, and a fire dragon instantly spit out of Sasuke's mouth. Seeing this, Lee's eyes shrank, and he jumped into the sky, continuously throwing out 6 styles. Raishukyu, Broken Sky. Sasuke's fire dragon was suppressed immediately, but Sasuke was still outputting, continuing to maintain the scale of the fire dragon. At the same time, one hand touched the ninja bag, and several kunai were thrown out immediately. Seeing this, Shaoli had no choice but to dodge it with his shaving. The fire dragon immediately hit the ground, smashing a hole several meters deep, throw out a few more kunai. The kunai flew towards Shaoli with a cold light. Shaoli immediately used the iron block to resist it. After several sounds of metal colliding, Sasuke's kunai was directly bounced away, and Shaoli felt a burning pain in his body. His iron block has not been practiced to a high level. "Stop it, Sasuke," said Naruto on the side. Chapter 43. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The two of them slowly stopped. Shaoli walked to Sasuke's side and said with a little disappointment, "I lost." "You are already very strong," Sasuke said lightly, looking at the somewhat disappointed Lee. Naruto said, "Lee, you don't have to belittle yourself. Sasuke's strength is due to ninjutsu, not because his physical skills are inferior to ninjutsu. You are still young, and you have not reached the explosive stage of a ninja yet. When you get there, you will find that your physical skills will improve rapidly. The power will also become greater." After Naruto finished speaking, Sasuke nodded. Shaoli's physical skills are not weak. If he is close to Sasuke, he can't beat him. Now he just relies on ninjutsu to deal with him. Sasuke has seen Naruto's physical skills. With a storm kick, he can easily break his Halong fire jutsu. "Well, welcome our new partner," Naruto said with a smile. Shaoli was also a little happy. Several people looked in the direction where Ningxi came from. Ningxi did not hide his figure when he came, so several people naturally found him. Ningxi walked to the side of several people and looked at you. Sasuke took another look at the guy he thought was the last one, but the battle just now deeply shocked him. Rock Lee's physical skills were not inferior to his own, and it was a physical skill he had never seen before. "Has he always been this strong?" Ningxi said in shock. He felt that the two people in front of him might be a little stronger than him. "Then why do you look so weak in actual combat?" Naruto did not answer, but Shaoli spoke first. Naruto-kun said that as a ninja, how can you expose all your cards? Youth is to give a heavy blow to the enemy when he thinks you are no longer capable. Naruto. When did I say that? Although they were speechless, they could understand some truths from it. Naruto felt that it must be Might Guy who led them astray. "I hope it's not the green tights from before." Naruto slowly stretched out his hand and said with a smile, "Ningxi, welcome to join us. I know you have a lot of doubts, and I will answer them all for you in the future. I believe that we will get along very happily." Ningxi hesitated and held Naruto's hand, looked at Naruto deeply and said, "I want to know, what method do you have to free me from this damn curse?" Ningxi untied the bandage on his forehead, revealing the mark of his hatred, which was the symbol of a bird in a cage, the green X symbol. "Ningxi, you should know that since the bird in a cage is a seal composed of a sealing technique, if he can plant it, then he can naturally remove it. But the Zong family has no way to remove the seal of the caged bird. He once wanted to remove the seal of the caged bird, but there was no way to remove the seal of the caged bird except the method of planting it. The caged bird was developed by the Zong family for generations to prevent the white eye from being taken away. At that time, no one thought of removing the seal of the caged bird, so the method of removing the seal of the caged bird was not studied. I know, but as long as it is a sealing technique, it means there is hope of removing it. Since it is a technique, I believe that as long as there is enough attainment in sealing techniques, the seal of the caged bird can be removed." After listening to what Naruto said, Nisai felt a sense of loss. He naturally knew this truth, but who has such a high attainment in sealing techniques and is willing to help him study the way to remove the caged bird curse? Naruto saw Nisai's loss and said, "Just give me some time. I believe I can remove the caged bird curse." After that, Naruto performed several sealing techniques in front of Nisai. In Nisai's shocked eyes, Naruto said again, "Although there is no way now, but if you give me a few days, I will develop a technique to isolate the control of the clan members. Although this does not remove the caged bird, it is enough for you to get rid of the control of the clan members. That this is something Naruto had thought about before, and it is indeed feasible. With Naruto's current attainments in sealing techniques, plus the ability of God rewards hard work, it should not be a problem for him to research a method to isolate the curse seal in a short period of time. Perhaps it was Naruto's characteristics that touched Nisai, and Nisai said slowly, "How do you need me to cooperate with you?" "I need to investigate the structure of the bird seal in your cage and understand what type of seal it is before I can conduct a specialized study on it. But this requires your trust, because during the exploration process I can destroy your brain at any time and turn you into a vegetable." Naruto did not hide it, but told the hidden danger. Now Nisai hesitated. Is it really okay to put his life in Naruto's hands? If he has any bad intentions, then he will die without a burial place. Naruto saw Nisai's hesitation and didn't say anything. After all, if he put his life in the hands of others, he would also hesitate. After struggling for several times, Nisai shook his head and said in a deep voice, "I want to control my own destiny." Naruto smiled and said, "Thank you for your trust. But it's not safe here, come over tomorrow." Ninji nodded. He also knew that this was not something that could be done in one day. The next day, Naruto used the Earth-released nuclear submarine to bring Ninji to a depth of several dozen meters underground, which would make it easier for Naruto to study the caged bird. "Ready?" Ninji took a deep breath and said, "Ready." Naruto slowly used his mental power to explore the caged bird seal. After seeing the caged bird in person, he felt that this sealing technique was really complicated. The caged bird is connected to the eyes and brain nerves of the person being cast, and can be controlled and the brain destroyed by the people of the main family. Hiss. Naruto took a breath of cold air. Although he had always known it, he still felt a chill after seeing it. The seal of the caged bird had penetrated deep into the soul. If he wanted to remove this technique, he had to study the soul. However, if the technique that made the main family control the caged bird seal invalid, he could still study it. In the next few days, Naruto began to study Niji's caged bird. There was a voice in Naruto's mind, "Caged bird seal +3. Caged bird seal removal +1.05. Sealing technique +5. Naruto listened to the voice coming from his mind. The caged bird seal removal was only 1.05. Naruto suspected that the 0.05 was the proficiency given by his knowledge of sealing techniques, and the 1 was the effect of hard work. "It's really difficult," Naruto murmured, but he still showed a happy smile. God rewards hard work and brings Naruto a feeling of enlightenment. Sometimes it's not, Naruto just feels that his understanding of sealing techniques has risen a lot. A few days passed, and Naruto began to explore the curse seal of the bird in the cage almost frantically. The harvest was still remarkable. A week passed quickly. Looking at Naruto's red eyes, Niji knew that Naruto was very concerned about his own affairs. He couldn't help but feel that he would die for his confidant. "Ningxi, although I haven't figured out a way to deal with the caged bird these days, I can free you from its control. But I can't do anything about your sealed perspective for now," Naruto said with a slightly regretful voice. "What? You already have a solution?" Niji seemed very shocked. Although he had discovered that Naruto had a high level of attainment in the art of sealing during these few days of contact, it shouldn't be so fast. However, no matter how much Niji thought about it, he couldn't figure out that Naruto was a man with a cheat. "Well, there are 2 methods in total. One is to activate the spell at the same time as the curse, and the other is for me to add a sealing technique for you again to isolate and control it." Naruto still didn't agree with the first method, because it was too troublesome to activate the spell at the same time as the main family spell. It would be better to use a sealing technique to solve the problem once and for all. Both methods are similar to the principle of isolating signals. The sealing technique can cut off the connection between the two. In essence, it still exists, but it is blocked by the sealing technique. This creates a separation between the caged bird curse and the main family's spell. Therefore, it gets rid of the control of the main family. Chapter 44. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Naruto told Neji the difference between the two methods, and Neji chose the latter without hesitation. At the same time, he was so excited that he couldn't control himself. Although the curse of the caged bird was not completely solved, he would no longer be threatened with death by the caged bird. For the first time, he felt that his destiny was in his own hands. Neji said in a trembling voice, "Naruto, thank you." Looking at Neji, who was so excited that he was about to cry, Naruto patted his shoulder. "Next, let me cast another sealing technique on you. I will name it Flying Bird. This is also to hope that you can control your own destiny," Naruto said with a smile, and Neji was still trembling. Who could understand how excited he was at this moment? "Calm down, Neji," Naruto reminded him, and Neji hurriedly sat down. After performing a few spells, Naruto tapped Neji's forehead, and a pain suddenly surged into his mind, which came and went quickly, and there was even a heat current surging in his mind. Soon, the original green mark had something else, and two slanted patterns appeared on the forehead, which looked like a pair of wings. Feeling the end of the spell, an unprecedented feeling floated into Neji's heart. He knew that he would never be threatened by the main family again. "Thank you, Naruto." Ningxi was so excited that he shed tears again. His face was full of joy, and with the tears on his face, it seemed a bit out of place. "Ha ha ha. Neji, do you feel like you are in control of your own destiny?" "Destiny is always in your own hands," Naruto said the second half of the sentence with a slightly emotional voice. "Okay, let's get out." Naruto clapped his hands, and after a slight shake, the two of them got out of the ground and walked out of the earthen hatch. He clapped his hands again, and the ground returned to its original state. "Congratulations, Ningxi." Seeing that Ningxi's forehead looked a little different, Shaoli and Sasuke knew that Naruto's research must have been successful. Ningxi nodded, and his excited expression had not yet dissipated. In the past few days, the two have also tested Ningxi's strength, and Sasuke has recognized Ningxi's existence. Ningxi's strength was cultivated by himself, which made the two have to admire him. Afterwards, Naruto also told Ningxi about his own affairs, including some of Konoha's darkness and Naruto's red thoughts. "Ningxi, we will leave Konoha one day. I think you can win over those branch families. You can exempt the control of the caged bird, which is equivalent to releasing the caged bird. This will drive the people in the branch family crazy. I guess they will support you even if you want to seize power," Naruto said slowly, and told Neji all his ideas. Listening to the carefully planned plan, Nisai felt admiration. Naruto was 1 year younger than himself, but he was mature when doing things. Nisai lowered his head and pondered. Naruto's method sounded so reasonable, but why didn't he recommend implementing it immediately? As if seeing Nisai's doubts, Naruto said, "It will take a few years for us to leave Konoha. There is no rush now. Let's improve our strength first. We can't rush the affairs of the branch family." In the days that followed, compared to the students of ordinary ninja schools, the training of several people was particularly hard. The strength of several people who had no shortage of ninja resources improved rapidly. On the other hand, Naruto had deliberately let Hatake Kakashi know about the darkness of Konoha. After he returned, he began to investigate secretly and found that things were not as simple as they seemed. First of all, his father was carrying out an S-level mission. It was impossible for a few people to know about such a mission. What's more, the whole Konoha knew about it, and under Kakashi's secret investigation, he actually found out that the one who carried out the mission with his father was actually a special jonin of the Shimura family. A mere special jonin, carrying out a mission with his father, wouldn't it be a drag? Later, he was the first to jump out and accuse his father. Kakashi felt that the whole thing was weird. He didn't think about it before, and he couldn't see through it when he was a child. Now looking back, the whole thing is not that simple. Was his father really calculated because he threatened the position of Hokage? In Kakashi's memory at that time, Konoha seemed to have won in the end, and the mission carried out by his father seemed to be to steal a confidential document, but the role of this confidential document doesn't seem to be that big. Kakashi has been studying the details of the 3 wars and important battle measures during this period of time. That confidential document didn't seem to play a big role. His father, a Kage-level warrior, seemed to play a bigger role. Thinking of Naruto's conspiracy theory of Konoha's high-level officials, his will of fire that he had always insisted on began to waver. "Hi. Kakashi. Why do you seem listless recently?" A figure patted Kakashi's shoulder. Kakashi turned around and saw a pale man with dark circles under his eyes standing in front of him. "Oh. It's Hey-8. I'm fine, but you've been distracted lately." Kakashi said this, and Moonlight Hi-8's face instantly fell. I don't know when, Yuzuki Yugao's relationship with him became more and more distant, and recently she even asked him not to pester her. "Hey. Senior Kakashi, I don't know why recently, Yugao. Hey." As if she didn't want to explain, Moonlight Gale sighed. Kakashi looked at Moonlight Gale and knew that he was trapped because of his feelings. He patted his shoulder and said, "I can't help you with this. When it comes to feelings, just let it go." In the original work, Yuzuki Yugao and Moonlight Gale became lovers, but due to Naruto's intervention and the soul stealing, the impression of the caster would be left in the mind of the caster without knowing it. This led to Yuzuki Yugao always treating Naruto as the most important thing, and under the subtle influence, Yuzuki Yugao even weakened the relationship with Moonlight Gale. Even Naruto will replace Moonlight Gale in her heart. Even Naruto doesn't know about this matter. He probably just smiled when he knew it. After all, it is good for him. If Moonlight Gale knew it, he would probably cry without tears. Who did he provoke? A good marriage was messed up. "Senior Kakashi, is there such a comforting thing?" Gecko Hey-8 was about to cry. This was asking him to give up his love for Yuzuki Yugao. How could this be possible? He and Yugao were childhood sweethearts. Maybe Yugao was in a bad mood recently. She would definitely change her mind after a while. "I can't comfort you about this kind of thing," Kakashi said slowly. Moonlight Gale glanced at Kakashi and said, "That's right, after all, Senior Kakashi doesn't have a girlfriend either." "Kakashi. Are you polite? No girlfriend will eat your rice." Kakashi was ready to roll his eyes at the moonlight wind. Chapter 45. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time passed quickly, and the annual competition for the top student undoubtedly fell into Sasuke's hands. As for Niji's level, he was still Niji's top student. Naruto and Rock Lee had no intention of showing off. After this time, there was a small vacation. This time, Naruto planned to take them to see blood. Only by seeing blood can one be a real ninja. In the ninja world, if you don't dare to kill even one person, what kind of person is that? What? See blood? You mean murder? Shaoli said in surprise, and then calmed down. After all, living in this world, they were just a little surprised before. They had already accepted the idea of killing people, and now it was just in advance. Let Ninji and Sasuke use their shadow clones. As for Rock Lee, he and I are both orphans, so one day will not attract attention. You two are different. One is a genius boy from the Hyuga family, and the other is an orphan from the Uchiha family. Although no one will pay attention to you every day, it will be a bit troublesome if you are discovered. Naruto said softly. He had seen blood before, and he used a shadow clone. After all, it was not convenient for the main body to go out. At first, he felt a little uncomfortable, but later he got used to it. Even if blood splashed on his face, he just wiped it off gently. Oh, by the way, I have a gift for you guys. Naruto said to the three of them, then he took out 3 rings. Naruto, what is this? The 3 looked at what Naruto took out with a little surprise. Naruto raised the corner of his mouth and said, this is a space ring, and it also represents your identity. It can bind your chakra. This is a space ring made by Naruto using chakra metal. The cost is much higher than that of a space scroll, and even the space inside is not as big as a space scroll, but the space scroll is too inconvenient to carry. Compared with the scroll, Naruto prefers the ring. After all, this one is more stylish. Although there is only 10 cubic meters of space inside, it is enough. These chakra metals were sent by Uchiha Shisui. Okay, let's go. Several people quickly followed Naruto and left Konoha from the hidden back mountain. Naruto's body stayed in the village. Naruto soon came to a contact point, which was the contact point for Shisui development. Lord Naruto, the one who received Naruto and his companions was a chunin, dressed in ordinary clothes and couldn't be seen as a ninja at all. He was also a person who was baptized by Naruto's red thoughts, and at this moment he was looking at Naruto fanatically. Naruto nodded and said, I remember your name is Hayakawa Kawaii, right? Yes, Naruto-sama, Hayakawa Kawaii said enthusiastically. Kawaii, do you know if there are any bandits or something like that nearby? Bandits? Hayakawa Kawaii thought for a moment and said, there are no bandits nearby. Most of the bandits around here have been defeated by us, but I heard that a few bandits have come to Shangsuan town recently. Shangsuan town. Give me the map. Yes. After Hayakawa Kawaii handed the map to Naruto, he left. After Hayakawa Kawaii left, Sasuke and others surrounded him. Naruto, what was that just now? The one just now is the force I cultivated outside. After all, if we want revenge in the future, it won't be enough just for us, Naruto explained. You still have power? Several people were very surprised. When did Naruto build up his power? Although they were a little surprised, they didn't ask any more. Naruto would tell them when the time came. Next, let's finish your training. Naruto shook the map in his hand. Naruto turned the map over and saw that the largest area in the middle was the territory of the Land of Fire. It must be said that the territory of the Land of Fire was really large and it also occupied the richest areas. It was no wonder that other countries had always wanted to attack Konoha. Several people walked quickly on the road, and Naruto kept referring to the map as he moved forward. According to Kawaii's information, the thieves should be active in this area. Naruto murmured. Let's split up and try to find those guys. The group quickly separated, but Naruto left Xiaoli behind because he was afraid that Xiaoli's personality would disturb the thieves. Naruto had no good feelings towards these thieves, and many people had died in their hands. Have you investigated the situation clearly? Naruto asked. There were more than 40 thieves in that group. No one knew where they came from, but they all had a bloody smell. It was estimated that they had killed many people, that with Niji's white eyes, they soon understood the situation of the thieves. Naruto waved his hand a few times and quickly assigned a good strategy. Remember, you must not be soft-hearted. Don't underestimate these guys who are on the edge of a knife. Naruto said softly. Several people nodded in succession. Isn't that what a ninja is? If you don't dare to kill people, then don't become a ninja. Not to mention revenge for your family. Action. With Naruto's order, the three of them immediately rushed out and headed towards the thieves' camp. Inside the thieves' camp, they had not yet realized that the crisis had quietly arrived. Drink. Brothers, keep drinking. That woman was awesome last night. Deep inside the camp, a group of people were still drinking. Only a few were on duty, but they were just pretending. Ha ha ha. You know, our boss is a ninja. With the boss around, we can all eat delicious food and drink spicy drinks. Ha ha ha, you're right, keep going. After we rob a few more villages, we will move to another place to prevent being targeted by ninjas. There was a lively scene all around. Sasuke and the others listened to the voices of these thieves, and murderous intent surged. These thieves deserve to be killed. Niji and Sasuke nodded, and then disappeared into the darkness at the same time. The two appeared on the left and right of the night watchman, and the kunai emitted a cold light and appeared on the necks of the two big men. Swish. A stream of blood spurted out, and the two men trembled slightly, and then picked up the kunai again. Resisting the uncomfortable feeling in their hearts, the two attacked the enemy again, and Xiaoli, on his side, began to fight with physical skills. The movement was a little louder. At the same time, the smell of blood immediately alerted the thieves' leader. Sniffing his nose, the thieves' leader shouted, "Enemy attack!" Hearing the boss's voice, the thieves were well trained and directly grasped the big swords beside them. The boss started to retreat at this time. Only ninjas could approach silently. He knew his own level. He was a genin at most. He got a ninja's tool bag by chance and became a ninja. The only ninjutsu he knew was the wind style, wind cutting. Nisai and Sasuke had already started to harvest at this moment. The thieves' boss also saw the appearance of the two people. For a moment, his tense heart relaxed a little, because the people in front of him were just a few children around 10 years old. Neji and Sasuke suppressed their nausea and continued to swing their kunai. At this time, they saw a big man slashing at them, with chakra fluctuations on his body. It turned out to be a ninja. The two looked at each other and decided to kill the ninja first. The speed of the two men soared again, and the sharp blades in their hands easily cut through the head of the thief boss, leaving only the thief boss's unbelievable eyes, probably dying with his eyes open. Soon, several people killed all the thieves around. After the killing, several people looked at the purgatory-like scene, and Neji and Sasuke couldn't help vomiting. On the contrary, Rock Lee was in a better condition. I don't know if it was because of his thick nerves. Good. Naruto's shadow clone appeared. This time he did not attack. It was the same for him the first time. He felt uncomfortable the first time. It's commendable to be able to achieve this level for the first time, but you still have a few flaws. You haven't shown your true strength at all, and your method of hiding your breath and body shape is too poor. If you were on the battlefield, I'm afraid you would be the first to die. Naruto was not wrong. Shisui taught Naruto a lot of battlefield knowledge and combat precautions. In addition to Naruto's personal practice, he is now very experienced, and they are indeed like a novice, but much better than most novices. Chapter 46. You are listening at Novelfull.audio. Several people thought they performed well and could not help but feel a little proud. Unexpectedly, Naruto saw all sorts of loopholes. For a moment, their pride was also restrained. Naruto walked to the ninja boss. The blood on the ground and the broken limbs did not affect Naruto's steps at all. Looking at this boss who was dead, this ninja was obviously not an orthodox ninja. He must have accidentally come into contact with the chakra refining technique and became a ninja. Judging from his previous actions, his control over chakra was pitifully low. Use fire escape to bury them, Naruto said casually. If these bodies are not dealt with, they may cause plague. Then several people collected these bodies, and Sasuke used the great fireball technique to ignite them. The raging fire devoured the bodies of these thieves. In the next few days, apart from returning to Konoha, they began to hone their skills regularly. After a period of time, they had become qualified ninjas. You should first restrain your murderous aura. Wouldn't it be easy for people to suspect you if you go back to Konoha like this? Naruto frowned and said, the method of hiding murderous aura was taught in class. It is one of the necessary elements of ninja. It seems that I still can't put it into practice. I need to practice more. The land of waves, Naruto's side is not mentioned for now. On Shisui's side, Mei Terumi has already sent people to contact the Seven Colors Chamber of Commerce. This also makes Shisui a little headache. Has he been noticed so quickly? And it's the shadow of the same village. Zabuza, do you think we should contact Mei Terumi now? I'm afraid they are here with bad intentions. Shisui glanced at Zabuza and said, in the meeting room. Zabuza sat upright in a chair. When he heard Uchiha Shisui calling him, he began to come back to his senses. The fifth Mizukage, Mei Terumi, this woman is not simple. Zabuza is naturally clear about this woman. This woman is only 1 year older than him. In terms of strength, Zabuza believes that he is definitely not as good as this woman. Regarding the fifth Mizukage, Mei Terumi, Zabuza also knows that this is a person who hates the blood mist policy as much as he does. The difference is that he is a civilian ninja, while Mei Terumi has family ninjas standing behind her, and she also has the support of the master. Although she is a woman, her own strength is also at the level of Kage, and she has 3 bloodline limits, a super ninja of molten release, dissolve release and boil release, dissolve release. It is a bloodline limit formed by the fusion of water attribute chakra and earth attribute chakra. It has super acidity. In the original work, it fights against Uchiha when he was in the state of Madara. He could even melt Susanoo. Molten release. It is a bloodline limit formed by the fusion of fire attribute chakra and earth attribute chakra, which can create an effect similar to magma, with amazing lethality. And boiling release. It is a fusion of fire attribute chakra and water attribute chakra, which can create high-temperature steam. The 5 Tails Jinchuriki Han of the Hidden Rock Village in the Land of Earth has this bloodline limit, so he is called a steam ninja. Not sure if there is one, because the 5 Tails has the ability of boiling release, so it is set here. The lethality of boiling release is unquestionable, with a widespread range, relying on high-temperature water mist to kill, it can be called a harvester on the battlefield. It is a woman who is seriously underestimated in the original work. How is it not simple? Shursui asked curiously, Zabuza. It was not an easy thing for Mei Terumi to hold the position of Mizukage when the Kirigakure was in such a mess. Zabuza knew how chaotic the blood mist was at that time. Putting aside other things, Zabuza still admired this woman, however, in Zabuza's opinion, no matter how capable Mei Terumi was, she was not as good as Naruto. He once wanted to save the land of water and the Kirigakure, but now, he wants to accompany Naruto, Shursui, and many like-minded people to build a truly peaceful and prosperous world. We can try to contact Mei Terumi and spread the industry completely in the land of water. Doesn't Mei Terumi want to get a piece of the pie? Then we will help her, Zabuza said coldly. Shursui also understood what Zabuza meant. Through the industry, he could infiltrate the land of water and become an indispensable part of the land of water and even the hidden mist village. In Naruto's words, it was to fight an economic war. Ninjas also have families, and their families can become members of the peripheral organizations of the umbrella. Mei Terumi only wants a little money, just give it to her, and they can also tie her to their station car to form a community of interests. Qingyu. Go and test the 7 Colors Chamber of Commerce. Terumi Mei was dressed in a blue robe, with her bright red hair covering one eye tightly, her fiery red lips revealing a sexy glow, and a layer of fishnets draped over her white thighs, making her look graceful and charming. Yes, an umbu flashed and disappeared in the room. After the umbu disappeared, Terumi Mei's lazy look disappeared instantly, and a deep brilliance appeared in her eyes. Let me see your details. The voice of Mei Terumi echoed in the room. At the headquarters of the 7 Colors Chamber of Commerce, Qingyu, who was sent by Mei Terumi, was following the people sent by the 7 Colors Chamber of Commerce. He saw that the people entered the headquarters of the 7 Colors Chamber of Commerce. The next moment, the chakra fluctuations beside the river flashed by. Qingyu's figure also appeared in the 7 Colors Chamber of Commerce. Boundary? Qingyu was a little surprised. Looking at the room in front of him, he didn't expect that a small barrier was set up in a station. At the same time, he couldn't help but have a headache. How could he get in like this? Half an hour passed, and Qingyu still hadn't found a way to enter the barrier. He could only hide and try to find out some information. In the dark night, the door slowly opened, and a figure appeared, then jumped directly onto the roof and disappeared. Qingyu moved slightly and followed. At this moment in the room, Zabuza slowly picked up the teacup and drank it all. A rat sneaked in. The figure who went out before was Uchihayu. He deliberately exposed himself in front of Qingyu. After deciding to contact Mei Terumi, Zabuza and Uchihayu rushed over, while Shursui stayed in the land of waves to coordinate the overall situation. There are still too few talents available. Qingyu followed Uchihayu to a wasteland. Suddenly, Uchihayu said directly, "Come out. You are sent by the 5th Mizukage." Qingyu was a little surprised. He was a member of the assassination team and his means of hiding his tracks were very sophisticated. Unexpectedly, he was still discovered. Qingyu did not speak, and quickly formed a hand seal with his hands, the hidden mist technique. Seeing the thickening fog, Uchihayu narrowed his eyes. Hidden mist technique? If it was before, it might be a bit troublesome if he didn't expose his Sharingan. Now, he learned the perception ninjutsu from Shursui and got it from Naruto. Slowly launching the ninjutsu, Qingyu's figure was immediately sensed clearly by Uchihayu. Fire style, great fire extinguishment. A huge flame was released from Uchihayu's hands. It looked powerful, but it was totally different from what Madara-sama used during the Fourth World War. Chapter 47. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A huge flame smashed towards Chinyu. With endless power, the air around him became dry in an instant, even the fog of the mist-hidden technique was burned away a little. Chinyu's eyes condensed, and he didn't forget to make seals while being horrified. Water style, water array wall. A water wall suddenly appeared, directly blocking Uchihayu's fire style. But he didn't relax, because the mist-hidden technique didn't affect Uchihayu's actions at all. The shuriken was thrown out, and the sound of breaking through the air was directly formed. You can imagine how fast the speed is. At the same time, he drew out a short knife and chopped at Uchihayu. Uchiha.Yu also pulled out a long sword, and the Uchiha-style swordsmanship easily swept the kunai away. The two collided with each other, and the swords colliding with small sparks. In a short period of time, the two collided dozens of times. Chinyu was more and more surprised. He was a rare elite Jonin-level existence, but he didn't expect that he couldn't hurt the other party at all, and the opponent's swordsmanship gave him a familiar feeling. It's just that I haven't thought about Uchiha yet. After all, everyone, as we all know, the Uchiha clan has been exterminated. Uchihayu's swordsmanship is his own style of swordsmanship based on the Uchiha style, which is why Chinyu feels familiar but does not know it. Who sent you? Uchihayu asked in a deep voice. Chinyu did not say anything and formed a seal again. Water style, water cutting wave. A high-pressure water column suddenly hit Uchihayu. Water style, water cutting wave is an advanced ninjutsu of water style, water random wave. It can form a high-pressure water column with a power so strong that it can cut steel. Uchiha kept rolling, and the ground was immediately cut into gullies. Fire style, phoenix claw red. Dozens of shurikens flew out, and under the blessing of Uchihayu's ninjutsu, a flame shuriken wrapped in flames was formed, which had powerful attack power and cutting ability. Even if the flame was extinguished, the shuriken would still cause secondary damage. Looking at the ninjutsu that was shooting over, Chinyu's eyes condensed, and then he released the water array wall again, but it was a multiple water array wall. As soon as the two ninjutsu came into contact, Uchihayu's ninjutsu instantly penetrated the water array wall, but fortunately there were still a few people behind to resist, and the shurikens after extinguishing were still shot towards Chinyu. The shuriken hit Chinyu's body heavily, but at this moment Uchihayu did not have the slightest joy of success, but stared closely at Chinyu, who was hit by the shuriken. The next moment, Chinyu's body suddenly turned into a pool of water and dissipated. A hint of appreciation appeared in Uchihayu's eyes. Water clone technique? Interesting. Chinyu's figure appeared again, and the two collided with each other, constantly approaching the water surface. Suddenly, Chinyu was smashed and flew out by Uchihayu. Chinyu's body fell on the water, but did not fall into the water, but stayed steadily on the water. Uchihayu raised a smile at the corner of his mouth. Approaching again, the sword in his hand suddenly turned into a series of afterimages and slashed towards Chinyu. In a hasty response, Chinyu only felt a powerful force coming, and the whole person flew out again, falling heavily into the water. He didn't expect that the ninja in front of him was not only superb in ninjutsu, but also very good in swordsmanship. His physical fitness is also better than his, which is not far from the quasi-shadow level. Little did he know that if Uchihayu opened the Sharingan, he would be a quasi-shadow level. Quasi-shadow is a title between the shadow level and the elite Jonin. It has a strength far beyond the average elite Jonin, but it has not reached the level of shadow. Feeling the pain from the tiger's mouth, Chinyu had no time to think, and jumped out of the water directly, shouting, "You've been fooled." Water prison technique. Suddenly, a stream of water enveloped Uchihayu's body, firmly imprisoning him, and at the same time, he clenched the short knife and wanted to pierce Uchihayu's entire body. Chinyu placed one hand on the water prison, and stabbed Uchihayu heavily with the other hand. Bang! A cloud of smoke appeared, and the shadow clone. A sense of crisis instantly came to his mind. Chinyu hurriedly pulled back. But at this moment, a voice sounded in Chinyu's ears, "Thunder escape, earth walk, not good." I wanted to use the instant body technique to escape, but the power of thunder escape has already acted on Qinyu's body. Instantly, a sense of paralysis came. You were deliberately lured to the surface by me, Qinyu said in a lost voice, with a look of shock on his face. Uchiha Yu took advantage of Qinyu's paralysis and swung his sword directly. Qinyu closed his eyes in despair, but the end of imagination did not come. Uchiha Yu directly turned the sword horizontally, and the blade slapped Qinyu's body, directly slapping him onto the land, and then directly put the sword on Qinyu's neck. The cold blade seemed to make the neck feel deeply painful, and Qinyu could feel the sharpness on it. He looked at the man in front of him coldly. This man's strength was so strong that he had never heard of it in the ninja world. What Qinyu didn't know was that Uchiha Yu's strength was only raised in the past year, so naturally he didn't know. I won't kill you. Before Qinyu recovered from his shock, Uchiha Yu said again, go back and tell the 5th Mizukage that our 7 colors Chamber of Commerce is not so easy to control. I am just an ordinary member of the 7 colors Chamber of Commerce. If she wants to touch us, she will pay a bloody price. You, the Hidden Mist Village, have just abolished the blood mist policy, so you don't want to be shrouded in blood again. If you want to cooperate, we welcome you. We need the power of Kirigakure, and you also need our power. This is a win-win situation, isn't it? If you want to talk, let the Mizukage come and talk in person. After saying that, Uchiha Yu disappeared directly on the spot, leaving Qinyu wondering what he was thinking. After coughing up a mouthful of blood, Qinyu felt much better. He felt that the man opposite him didn't seem to use his true strength, but this 7 colors Chamber of Commerce didn't seem to be simple, so he could only go back and let Lord Mizukage make the decision in person. You mean? There is a strong person behind the 7 colors Chamber of Commerce. Mei Terumi looked at the report from her subordinates. A ninja above the elite jonin is not the person behind the scenes. Could it be that the 7 colors Chamber of Commerce has a Kage-level strongman? Which hidden village is he from? Or is he from the 5 major countries? Interesting. Back off. Yes. Qinyu left the Mizukage building, leaving only Terumi Mei thinking about something. Terumi Mei knew Qinyu's level. Qinyu was not his real name, but his title in the assassination team. Qinyu's real name was Kawashima Aoba. He had some blood of the ghost-like family. He was actually beaten by the people of the 7 colors Chamber of Commerce, and according to Qinyu, it was the other party who let him back. Do you want to cooperate with her? What a big tone. She is the Kage of a village. She would like to see carefully, what right does this so-called 7 colors Chamber of Commerce behind the scenes have to talk to her like this? In this world, there are no more than 10 people who can talk to her like this. As a Kage, Terumi Mei also has her own pride. Chapter 48. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Land of Waves. Shisui has learned that the 5th Mizukage Mei Terumi sent ninjas to test them. After this test, Mei Terumi must have been quite afraid of their organization. In fact, when they were exposed to the eyes of the Kirigakure, he discussed with Naruto, and the result was to hide their organization under the Kirigakure. Let the Kirigakure become the leader of the 7 colors Chamber of Commerce, and they would hide behind the scenes. Let the Kirigakure attract the attention of other countries. In Naruto's words, it is to grow as low-key as possible in recent years. In a few years, it will be different. In a few years, Naruto will almost grow up. At the very least, he is a Kage-level strongman. In addition, the Uchiha Little Beans before are also a group of people with outstanding talents. Now they can no longer be called Little Beans. They are older than Naruto and Sasuke. The oldest one has become a jonin, and after a few years, he has almost grown up. However, the most important thing for Naruto is ideological education. Over the past period of time, the pride of being an Uchiha has been almost wiped out by the dozen or so Uchiha boys, and they have been branded with Naruto's red ideology. In the past, the entire Uchiha clan was proud of being an Uchiha, and some of them were even extremely proud. Naturally, these children have been infected with some of the Uchiha's arrogance. Fortunately, their values have not yet been completely formed, so it is still relatively easy to change them. Shisui, what do you think? Naruto said with a smile. Recently, Shaoli has returned to Konoha. After all, he still has to practice with Might Guy during the holidays. He doesn't know the shadow clone technique like Naruto and the others. Also, Neji and Sasuke began to target some wandering ninjas. The thieves made them bleed, and now fighting with ninjas can increase their experience between life and death. However, Naruto still secretly sent clones to follow them to prevent encountering powerful ninjas due to emergencies. Shisui looked at Naruto and asked him, smiled lightly, and said, "The purpose of the fifth Mizukage must be because we have threatened the people's livelihood in the land of water." At the same time, the huge profits of the Seven Colors Chamber of Commerce also make the Mizukage jealous. Who wouldn't be jealous of such a big industry? Since she wants it, we will give it to her. In addition, we can also hire their ninjas. Since they are going to share some of the profits, they should also contribute, right? Then we can reveal that the Hidden Mist Village is the real mastermind behind the Seven Colors Chamber of Commerce, and Mei Terumi will definitely not be able to refute it. After all, if the Hidden Mist Village is not the real controller, then it will definitely attract the covetousness of other hidden villages. So Mei Terumi will naturally bear this pressure. At the same time, with the participation of the Hidden Mist Village, one of the 5 major ninja villages, our Chamber of Commerce will develop better. Even if Mei Terumi says that the Seven-Colored Chamber of Commerce is not theirs, how many people will believe it in the end? At the same time, we can use this opportunity to assimilate their ninjas. Ninjas are also human beings, and they naturally have 7 emotions and 6 desires. As long as our 7-colored Chamber of Commerce is good enough, I believe that even if the Mizukage wants to eliminate us, he will be hindered by the ninjas in the village. Listening to Shisui's talk, Naruto smiled with satisfaction. Now Shisui has become more and more like a general, he has also grown a lot. Well said, but you're still a little bit lacking in consideration. First of all, you have underestimated the madness of human nature. People are greedy. It is impossible for the Mizukage to withstand all the pressure. There are other families supporting the Mizukage, and other families will definitely want to get a piece of the pie. There are also the nobles and even daimyo behind the water country. It is impossible for them to leave a cash cow entirely in the hands of the Hidden Mist Village. The reason why they trust the ninjas is that they control the economic power of the ninjas, right? After years of development in this world, many ninjas have formed inherent concepts. Ninjas rely on mission bounties to make a living, and only those with poor family talents will be relegated to the family industry. After all, in this world, the strong are respected. The first thing you have to do is to control those nobles and make them give way to our 7 Colors Chamber of Commerce. At the same time, you have to secretly develop some hidden industries. It is impossible to put all of them in the 7 Colors Chamber of Commerce. The most important thing is that we must take control of the dominance of food. Naruto spoke slowly, and Shisui looked at Naruto with brighter eyes. He thought he had grown a lot, but he was thinking too one-sidedly. Naruto changed the subject and continued, at the same time, we will open up an umbrella company, build a high-end brand, and focus on the aristocratic market. This industry must be firmly in our hands. The umbrella company's main industry is the cosmetics industry. That's right. Cosmetics. In this world, cosmetics already exist, but the concept of brand is not strong. With the experience of the previous life, Naruto naturally knows how broad the prospects of the cosmetics industry are. Many female ninjas also use cosmetics. Not to mention those noble ladies and wives. In many cases, the development of ninjas will also be affected by these nobles. After all, there are more ordinary people. If the ninja village has military power, then these nobles will have political power. As the one country one village system of Senju Hashirama became widely spread, this system gradually became a system recognized by everyone. In this world, the concept of bloodline is extremely important, so the true essence of this world is a world where nobles are in power. One of the reasons why the Wind Country is the poorest is that the daimyo of the Wind Country gives the least military expenditure to the Sand Village, and even often cuts funding, and the wind shadow Luosha is angry but helpless. After all, after the defeat of the wind country, it has to pay the defeat funds to the daimyo of the fire country. The daimyo of the wind country naturally blames Luosha for this matter. In the Naruto world, the power of these nobles is definitely the ignored party. And because of his concept, Naruto will never be soft when pitting these nobles. Isn't there a kind of medical ninjutsu that can stimulate cell activity? We can use it to develop medicines that can keep women young and beautiful, and even stimulate human cells to look a few years younger. Although this effect can be achieved using herbs, we can make a cut-down version that requires continuous use of our products to achieve this effect, so that we can continue to attract customers to consume. Naruto proposed the idea again. At this time, Shisui frowned. He didn't think many people would buy the cosmetics that Naruto mentioned. To look a little younger and more beautiful, you have to spend expensive money in exchange for a period of beauty. Will anyone really pay for it? Naruto-kun, will anyone really buy this cosmetic that has almost no effect? Shisui said hesitantly. Naruto smiled and said, Shisui, you underestimate the importance women place on their appearance. Chapter 49. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Naruto looked at Shisui's puzzled expression and said, Look, aren't there a lot of women around us buying lipsticks, eyeshadows, and the like? Uchiha Shisui, are there? Looking at Shisui's dull look, Naruto's face was dark. Okay, a straight man, Shisui probably spends most of his time either on the way to practice or on the way to practice, so how could he pay attention to these things? Naruto patted Shisui's shoulder and said, Shisui, it's time for you to find a wife. Shisui, what does this have to do with me finding a wife? In short, you have to remember that cosmetics that can keep people young are absolutely unique in the ninja world. After all, no ninja has used chakra to study this technology. Of course, Tsunade doesn't count. After all, their technology is not comparable to Tsunade's. They just use some medicinal herbs and chakra principles to study a cosmetic that consumes money and is not very useful to ninjas. In this world, Naruto thinks it is very easy to develop a cosmetic that is better than the one on Earth. Never underestimate the power of the extraordinary world. After all, with Tsunade's previous experience, Naruto thinks it is too easy to develop a product that is weakened to the point where it cannot be weakened any further. For example, Naruto can now maintain a short-term youth by stimulating cells, but this may consume the lifespan of the human body, so it is necessary to use medicinal herbs to achieve a weakening effect. With a little research, there should be no problem. Okay, I'll look into it later. Although it was a little incomprehensible, Shisui still resolutely carried out Naruto's orders. He felt that as long as it was Naruto who said it, there should be no problem. After all, Naruto is the savior of the world. Who among us is going to contact the Mizukage? The topic returned to the Mizukage. Naruto lowered his head and thought for a while before saying, I don't think it's possible. There is a guy named Ao next to the Mizukage, Mei-Terumi. He has the Byakugan of the Hyuga family and can see through my identity as a Jinchuriki. As for you, you have already frightened the Kirigakure ninjas in the 3 wars, and your chakra has probably been recorded. If you go, it will easily expose your identity. Zabuza is even worse, as he is from the Kirigakure village. It would be better to let you go, as he can already handle things on his own. Shisui thought carefully about what Naruto said, nodded, and said, You is indeed a good guy, and he is more mature, but his strength is a little bit weaker. However, as long as he doesn't encounter a Kage-level strongman, there will be no problem. It's a pity that this girl Quan hasn't fully grown up yet. Otherwise, she could be a great person. Uchiha Quan's talent is not bad, but it's a pity that her previous foundation was too poor, otherwise she would have become a strong person among the Kage level in a short time. Once Susanoo is activated, she is almost at the level of the Kage of a village. Coupled with the power of the Mangekyo, it is simply terrifying. Uchiha Sasuke and Hyuga Niji have returned to school. Their training this time is almost over. The two of them are completely different from before. There is a big difference between ninjas who have killed people and ninjas who have not killed people. The two of them now can give people a sense of oppression just by standing there. Time flies. Mei Terumi also began to formally contact the Seven Colors Chamber of Commerce. When they arrived at the place agreed by both parties, Mei Terumi couldn't help but get angry. "Is this how you treat guests?" Mei Terumi said angrily, because the person sent by the Seven Colors Chamber of Commerce was actually Uchihayu. She felt that she was looked down upon. Uchihayu smiled lightly and said, "Lord Mizukage, don't be angry, we come here with sincerity." "Ha! This is your sincerity, why doesn't your leader come out and talk to me in detail?" "Mr. Mizukage, we are talking about business, aren't we?" "Harmony brings wealth," Uchihayu said with a smile, implicitly reminding Terumi Mei not to ruin the purpose of both parties because of this matter. "Humph. Then we'll see if you have the strength to cooperate with me," Mei Terumi said coldly, and the chakra on her body fluctuated violently. Uchihayu also showed helplessness on his face, and said, "Sure enough, we still have to fight." "Izumi," then Uchihayu directly pulled out the sword behind him, and beside him was Uchiha Izumi. For this situation, it was also within the consideration of Naruto and Shisui. Sometimes, only when the strength is equal can you sit down and talk. So Izumi was placed next to Uchihayu as a guard. At this moment, the girl was wearing a mask. The eyes of the mask were not empty, but made of anti-peep glass, which could prevent Uchiha Izumi's Sharingan from being exposed. Boiling release, skillful mist technique. Mei Terumi directly spit out a large cloud of acid mist, which is extremely corrosive. The two of them each grabbed the ninjas beside them and retreated, saying, "Leave here, this is no longer something you can participate in." "Yes, sir." That they left the scene without delay. They knew that this was no longer a battle they could participate in. At the same time, they were very grateful for the help of Uchiha Izumi and Uchihayu. After they left, Izumi's 3 Magatama turned, and the Mangekyo was revealed, but there was no change in the eyes of others. The two of them worked together to use water escape to offset the surrounding acid mist. This area is the land of water, with abundant water elements, so it is not difficult to use water escape ninjutsu. But what the other two did not expect was that the combined water escape of the two did not offset the boiling escape of Terumi Mei, so the two had to use a water escape ninjutsu again. "Oh. You have some skills. Try this trick." Dissolving style, dissolving monster technique, Terumi Mei once again sprayed out a highly corrosive liquid. This time, it was not something that could be easily broken by water style. Uchihayu suddenly felt a sense of pressure. As expected of a ninja who bears the title of Shadow. Fire style, Great Dragon Fire technique, that he wanted to evaporate the acid of Mei Terumi, but when the fire style hit it, it only had a slight effect, which was not a big deal at all. "Leave it to me," that the Mangekyo pupil technique was activated, and an illusion of nothingness appeared. Mei Terumi's ninjutsu actually disappeared directly. "What? What kind of ability is this?" Terumi Mei was instantly horrified. Her ninjutsu was silently disappeared. What did they do? She looked at Uchiha Izumi with horror, and a deep fear appeared in her eyes. Water style, Water Tornado, Quan attacked again, and her pupil technique was quietly activated, but it was not an illusion, but an amplification of all attributes. She tripled all attributes. With the blessing of the pupil technique, Quan's water style power suddenly approached beyond grade A. Molten release, Burning stream technique. Mei Terumi formed a seal once again, and a hot liquid like magma spurted out of her mouth. Fire style, Fire Dragon Flame Bullet. With the blessing of the pupil technique, the power of Izumi's ninjutsu doubled. He flew towards Terumi Mei. Just when Terumi Mei thought that the two attacks would collide, his lava style disappeared again, and a huge fire style came towards him. In a hurry, Terumi Mei only used water style, Water Array Wall for defense, but no matter how powerful the sea-level ninjutsu was, how could it block Izumi's attack? Terumi Mei's figure quickly retreated. From the outbreak of conflict to the loss, it happened in a flash. Terumi Mei looked at Uchiha Izumi with fear, not knowing what ability he and Uchiha Izumi used. Uchiha on the side looked at Izumi with envy. This is the power of the Mangekyo. Without understanding, the Mizukage suffered a loss. When can I awaken my own Mangekyo? Chapter 50. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Mei Terumi looked at the girl in front of her. It was obvious that the girl in front of her was not very old, maybe about 15 or 16 years old. Her immature figure was fully revealed under her black combat uniform. Her face was covered by a mask under her black hair. Her face could not be seen clearly, which highlighted her mysterious temperament. What made Mei Terumi particularly afraid was the strange ability of the girl in front of her. Unknowingly, she could make her attack seem as if it had never happened. Is it a new blood limit? Before she fully understood Izumi's ability, Mei Terumi did not dare to attack at will. Just now was a lesson for her. Moreover, the opponent's ninjutsu was surprisingly powerful. Although she was not very old, her chakra was not small. Izumi was also looking at the charming woman in front of him. Compared with the woman in front of him, he was an immature apple, and Mei Terumi was a ripe peach. With every swing and movement, she showed the style of a mature queen. The swaying papaya in front of her made most women ashamed. Moreover, the other party was the shadow of a village. As a woman, she became the supreme ruler of a village and had 3 blood limits. What a remarkable woman. The two women looked at each other. Mei Terumi had no intention of continuing to fight. She had recognized Izumi's strength. The power behind this organization, which could train such a young strong man, also made Mei Terumi terrified. It's really not that simple, isn't it? Mei Terumi murmured, licking her charming lips. Can we sit down and talk? Izumi's cold voice came from under the mask. Ever since she learned that Uchiha Itachi had teamed up with Konoha to kill the entire clan, her temperament has become even colder. Oh, since you have such strong strength, you naturally have the ability to cooperate. Terumi Mei said with a slight smile. Uchiha on the side nodded to Quan, then stepped forward and said, Lord Mizukage's welcome ceremony is really not simple. Listening to Uchiha slightly playful voice, Terumi Mei's face did not change at all, as if it was not her who had taken action before. Lord Mizukage. We all know the purpose of this time, so let's not waste words. This is our plan, you can take a look. Uchiha handed the document he brought with him to Terumi Mei's hand, and Quan had been staring at Terumi Mei's movements to prevent her from doing anything. Terumi Mei took it and looked at it carefully with her beautiful eyes, frowning from time to time, obviously dissatisfied with the content above. After reading the entire plan, Terumi Mei said without hesitation, you want our Kirigakure ninjas to act as guards, and cooperate with the Chamber of Commerce to pass, and spend resources to promote the Chamber of Commerce, and at the same time provide jobs for the villagers of Kirigakure village, and retired ninjas can also work. This is the plan formulated by Naruto. In general, it seems that Kirigakure still has the upper hand. It only needs Kirigakure to act as guards and make some concessions on resources, and it can also provide jobs for ordinary people in the village. There are also a series of benefits and some cooperation matters. Terumi Mei is generally satisfied, but what the hell is the 30-70 split? Overall, I am very satisfied, but isn't it too much that you account for 70%? Mei Terumi raised her beautiful eyes, and a faint aura emanated from her. Want to have priority mining rights? Tax exemption is fine, but the mineral vein is the lifeblood of a village. To be discussed. Mizukage is wrong. Since it's a business, we can talk about it. If you are not satisfied, we can talk about it. Uchiha said with a smile. He got Naruto's explanation when he came here. This plan is indeed a bit unfair. But, business, of course, can be discussed. Very good. I think we can discuss the share. We are a big family in Kirigakure, so I think 70% is not too much. Terumi Mei said in a deep voice, hiss, you are really a lion with a big mouth. Uchiha got angry for a moment, then Naruto's words appeared in his mind, and his restless heart began to calm down. Mizukage is joking. Our organization is also big and has many people to support. After all, sales depend on us. You guys are just contributing some effort. So there are 4 of you and 6 of us, what do you think? Uchihayu said with a laugh, his words were sharp. You see, the contract says that sometimes we can hire ninjas from the Hidden Mist Village, and sometimes they can act as guards. After all, the Hidden Mist Village is a big village with many villagers. At the same time, we also provide convenience. There are so many miscellaneous things. So I think 60% can't be any less. Mei Terumi was like a fox at this moment, not giving in at all. Stop. 50%, let's both take a step back, 50%, no more. After all, it is you who want to seek cooperation. If you don't cooperate, we can still find other big countries to cooperate with. You Kirigakure should have wanted to rest and recuperate in the past 2 years. With our help, you may be able to catch up with other big countries, Uchihayu said again, full of the meaning that he could not be refused. You. Very good. I agree, Mei Terumi was a little angry, but what she said was true. Without Kirigakure, there are Sand Village, and Iwagakure, and the like. In fact, Naruto is more inclined to cooperate with Mei Terumi. Konoha has Danzo, and Danzo will definitely make trouble. The Raikage of the Land of Lightning is also a hot-tempered one. With his personality, he will definitely hold the 7-colored Chamber of Commerce in his hands. The Iwagakure is developing better and is not very dependent on the 7-colored Chamber of Commerce. The Wind Country is too poor. Wouldn't it be a loss to cooperate with the Wind Country? And Mei Terumi is a very good candidate. She has just stabilized and wants to develop the village. She is a woman and is constrained by various families. What's more, the water country is relatively closed and rich in aquatic products. In any case, it is a place suitable for the development of the 7-colored Chamber of Commerce. At the same time, Kirigakure can be put on the surface to help the umbrella organization resist lightning. It can also slowly win the hearts of the people in Kirigakure village and recruit Kirigakure ninjas to work for it. It is simply killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Very good. Happy cooperation. Lord Mizukage, Uchihayu showed a fox-like smile. The people in the ninja world are not as good as Naruto in thinking about business wars. Terumi may looks a little angry on the surface, but in fact, she is already very happy in her heart. In her opinion, she made money. After all, the 7 Colors Chamber of Commerce still has to recruit people from their village to work, and at the same time relieve their pressure on retired ninjas. At the same time, they don't even have to be responsible for sales, they are responsible for guarding, which is something that ninjas are naturally good at. After all, after the cooperation, this is also their industry, isn't it, so it's natural to protect it well. And the hired ninjas will also be given commissions according to the contract. Terumi may thinks she is making a lot of money, and at the same time, Uchihayu also thinks they are making a lot of money. After being influenced by some of Naruto's business thinking and ideas, Uchihayu has also become a qualified businessman. The 2 foxes looked at each other and said, "Happy cooperation."